Welcome back to Echo Ridge. Today, we're going to try to put a tourniquet here on our burgeoning civilization of Germany. Trier here is not very happy. Partly, they're not happy because, well, they have no amenities, but also the loyalty is not looking very good. Now, granted, it's going to take a long time because we're only losing 5.9 loyalty per turn, so I'm not too worried about it. Especially as we start getting more population in our cities, it should definitely help. The issue is, well, the issue's been that food has been very scarce, especially starting here in our capital. Barbarians have already pillaged one of our farms, which definitely didn't help. We're taking care of that, but it's slow going. Next up, the advisor says we need to build an encampment, but I don't think so. I really need a builder so we can get some more amenities, so we can repair that farm. So we're going to go the 5 turns there. We're probably also going to save up our cash for a little bit and purchase a builder over here right next to the diamonds. That will help our amenity situation, and the happiness would do very well. From bad to worse, a slinger has come in here and pillaged our wonderful gypsum. We have 2 turns until this builder is finished, but until then, we need to keep clearing this area out. We do have this slinger ready here, although we are starting to get a little bit of pressure from Poland in the northwest. Not a big deal. So I think we'll bring the slinger down. Production in Berlin is going to be the granary. Then we're probably going to follow it up with a builder here. And lucky for us, whole Poland wants to peace out. And I also found out it looks like they do only have the 2 cities. Let's see if we can squeeze some cash out of them. No, they just want to make it even Steven. But they do have a tobacco. We could use that amenity. They want 3 gold per turn for 30 for a free tobacco. I think that'll help, at least in the short term. And we're doing okay on gold, so we're going to do it. Plus, we're going to be at peace, so we don't have to worry about them up there. We're also going to try to send them a delegation. They politely refuse. Maybe next time. But we have to start working on getting them back on our good side, because I'd rather not have to deal with a surprise war anytime soon. Looks like we gotta have a 1,000-year flood, but lucky for us, it happened right here in Jerusalem. The good thing is our builder is finished. So step 1 is going to repair all of these tiles. We're going to go and build another slinger here, and then it's up for new tech. What did we just finish? We just finished writing. Ancient walls seems like a decent idea. Not to mention we have boosted masonry, so we're going to go into masonry next. Big turn 51, because we also completed a civic, and that was military tradition. So now we're getting flanking and support combat bonuses, which is great. And now we're going to go into foreign trade, into early empire. Early trade is going to be able to give us a trader unit and allow us to be able to actually set up some trade routes, which will help the internal growth of our civilization, but it also will lead to early empire and give us the wonderful governor title. And with the threat of Poland off of our back, we are now going to start exploring the rest of this landmass, try to figure out who we are and where we are from. Loyalty is still an issue. We're losing 5.9 and we'll go into full rebellion in 10 turns. So I'm hoping that we're going to have enough money to buy a monument. That might help a little bit. The population will definitely help, and this one's going to be done in 6 turns, this one in 2. So we're going to take another look at it in a few. Here's our normal era. We've entered the classical, and I do try to concentrate a lot on Eurekas, so I think the free inquiry, getting the +1 era score every time we trigger one, will work out well. I was thinking about starting to build the campus, but we don't quite own those tiles yet, and you know why I'm trying to save the money. But I think we're going to build up another couple of military units. Our builder still has 3 charges. We're repairing what we can, and I think we're going to go get this deer and the copper. We found out why Poland was having so many barbarian issues. Looks like they have a barbarian camp sitting right here with a bunch of quadremes and galleys sitting in a little tiny lake. That couldn't have been easy to beat. We're going to duck out there. The scout up north hasn't found too much except for the fact that there's no cities, which tells me I really should start putting out some more settlers and lining this entire coastal region. But we have to get the loyalty issues fixed out first. Not to mention that Poland just made our time worse by putting a city right here. But Trier's pop did kick in, and now we're only losing 1.3. Taking a look further down here, there's a couple of fishing boats. Now, I really don't like this tundra area, but this location right here might be okay for a city, other than the fact that there's a volcano sitting next to it. Here's our boost for archery finally coming in. Looks like we did find Poland's capital. I'm guessing it's right around here. We're going to go take a quick look. We don't have open borders with them, but I've also found something that's going on right here. Foreign trade is finished up. We'll try to get a trade unit as soon as possible. It would really help growth. We just boosted wheel, thanks to another mine. We could buy the trade unit for 185. And as you see, our capital's not growing very well. Trier is definitely not growing because now we're prioritizing production in the city, because otherwise it would take 189 turns for Trier to level up because, well, their housing situation is not great either. So by prioritizing production, we can at least get the granary done first, and that should help. But by using a trader, which I think we are going to splurge this cash on, I don't remember what I said I was going to splurge it on, but considering it's now 29 turns until we hit rebellion, I think we're going to be okay. And I just realized I built the trader in the wrong city. So we'll transfer that back to our capital, let our capital keep growing. I'll show you that next turn. I also need to start buying up these tiles here, which means I need to get the monument as soon as possible for the increase in culture, because I want as many of these culture and science tiles around the natural wonder as possible. And we have met Coupe. The Maori are the ones right over here. I don't see their city or their units, so I don't know how we actually met them. But there it is now. Taking a look at it, they have about triple our military strength, but the science, the good news is the science is not too bad. Our technology tree, I think we're going to go straight into archery, then probably sailing. I like to go a little bit more horizontal when I do my research. It's just, we have a lot of needs right now. The fact is we don't have a single tech in the classical area, and I don't love that. We don't have any iron, so it doesn't really make sense to go towards swordsman quite yet. A watermill would be helpful in all of our cities because of, once again, the food. But in this case, I think we could use the archers, and it's only 6 turns. Then we'll get the sailing, so that way we can get the fishing boats, because these 2 cities are going to be right up on these bonus resources pretty soon. In our capital, we did finish the spearmen, so I think it's going to go out this way and find out where the barbarian encampment over here is. Meanwhile, this slinger and warrior will try to take down this encampment. In fact, it's only going to be the warrior because you can only have 1 unit sitting there. Production is ready in our capital. I think it actually makes the most sense to get another settler. That'll be 11 turns. My hope was to get another settler in here, but I don't think there's going to be any possibility considering Poland's 3 cities are sitting here. And if we take a look at the settler positions, it shows all the areas that are at least 3 tiles away from another city, and this is absolutely impossible to get into. But we have some opportunities down here and over here to the East Coast. Not that they're great opportunities, but I mean, something's got to be decent over there. No big priorities here for this builder, so I'm going to send it up to Berlin. We'll improve the gypsum and maybe, in fact, we might try to get the wheat first, because the growth would be really helpful. All right, that trader is now up. And here's the power of trading within your civilizations, especially in the early game. By trading, for instance, with Trier, our capital is going to get +1 food and +1 production. And I'm actually starting with Trier too, because it's going to give us the road all the way from our capital to the western front of our civilization, which, let's be honest, is beautiful. And we got the Eureka for currency. And I'm not sure exactly what it was. It may have been the trade route, but all of a sudden we are actually gaining loyalty in here. I'm assuming it's a trade route because that's the only thing I did different, but I don't know where to see what exactly the benefit of having the trade route was. The Maori have given us a gift. I don't know what that is. I don't know what those cloaks are. And I don't know if I want the hoo-hoo crubs or the ha-ha crubs. But either way, it's appreciated. Something flipped once again, and this time I think it's the population growth in Radom, because now we're going to be in rebellion in 15 turns again. If I can keep growth going, though, that will help. We have Berlin producing the granary in 5 turns. I'm thinking about taking them off of food at all and just prioritizing production, and it'll get done in 4 turns. But I'll have to remind myself to fix that. More exploration up here. We're all the way up at Smarkand. I haven't found too much, except for the fact that I've realized that even the Maori cannot come down here because of the loyalty generation up here. So that means it's going to be pretty much stalemated for quite some time in this little island area until somebody decides they want to go to war with each other. Another wonderful goody hut. This late in the game, I will take it. It looks like Poland does have some area to expand up northwest. I don't know why they haven't chosen to do that unless there's an inlet that comes all the way through here. As planned, we finished archery, so now we're going to go into sailing, get our fishing boats, and then I'm not exactly sure. We should have iron online here shortly, so maybe ironworking. Yeah, and you can tell Traer is prioritizing that tile, but because the culture's so poor there, it's going to take 56 turns. I could purchase it for 65, but to be honest, I've been wanting to purchase these just to make sure Radom doesn't get them. I mean, this is a beautiful 5 yield tile right from the rip. In fact, we're going to get it right now. Oh, we've met the Netherlands. Hello, Wilhelmina. Love your hat. Love what you're doing. Very nice to meet you. Yeah, let's exchange some ideas. We've also completed Early Empire, doing a double check on our policies. We could go with Limitenai, +2 loyalty per turn for cities with a garrisoned unit. That could really help out. In fact, let's go check the situation right now. We still have 19 turns, so I don't know if it's worth dedicating a policy slot to it. I'm sort of done creating units for the time being, though. So in this case, it sort of makes sense to do it anyways. And then next, you're hard beat not to try to get into political philosophy because you get so many more policy slots. So that is what we're going to do. We also have our first governor. Now, despite the thousands upon thousands of hours I have in Civilization and the hundreds upon hundreds of hours that I have in Civ 6, governors and when it's ideal to use which one doesn't come as naturally to me. Probably because, well, they didn't exist in previous civs. I do like Pingala because the bonuses to science and culture based on population in a city is huge. But I don't know if it's what we necessarily need. And one thing that you're always going to hear me say is try to concentrate on playing the map. Don't just blindly play the same game every single time. Look at the map and see what it gives you before you decide on a strategy. In this case, I don't see anything that's going to knock my socks off and change the way we're doing business, so I think we are going to put Pangala into our capital. And then when we get state workforce, we'll probably plunk their promotion into researcher and giving us some bonus science, because right now we're only getting 5 science per turn, and by the time we get that, we're going to be a level 4 city, which means we're almost going to double our science per turn, which is going to be helpful. I'm also taking the opportunity because we do have an extra gypsum, so we're going to try to sell it to somebody, and it looks like the Maori are able to give us 13 gold per turn for 30 turns. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. We completed sailing, so we can have access to the sailing boats, and our builders can embark. I was going to send my slinger down here to take out this barbarian encampment and help out the spearmen, except we have a waiting upgrade, and it's only going to cost us 60 gold. So we're going to swing by here really quick, which, let's be honest, it's not really quick because everything's mountainous down here, but it's helpful. And then the settler is going to follow them all the way over here. So when we do finish taking this area, we're going to put another city here. Now, this city is not going to be great. Probably going to have to go here because these are the floodplain tiles, but we're going to check and see if there are any other resources here. The computer likes right here, except for the fact that there's nothing here except for snow. That would be a horrible city. At least here, there's a few coastal reefs, some woods. It'll be a slow building city, but it'll be better than nothing. So far, it looks like we are on some sort of weird island sort of formation, so it makes me want to go up and get shipbuilding to get the quadremes, except for the fact that we need 2 galleys to boost it, and it's going to be a little while until we can churn those out. I want to continue to firm up our foundation, so I want to get the iron working on. But to do that, I would rather boost it and get it in much less time. So for now, I think we're going to go ahead and get currency just to get us into classical era tech. And then hopefully by then we'll have an iron mine and we can concentrate on it. We upgraded our first archer, which Jerusalem really loved. So they made us their suzerain. It gives us +2 faith in every temple and consulate building for having the 3 envoys. And then our suzerain, we're going to be able to get ownership of the rice. That's great. And we gain a base of +1 diplomatic favor every turn, which is good because we'll be able to sell that off. And we pretty much don't have to worry about the AI going to war with us for the time being because we'll have quite a few units at our disposal. We'll see how that goes. What's really interesting, all this loyalty and influence pressure up over here and a little bit does not spread through here, which means this is still prime open for colonization. The only bad thing is we'd be very, very separated, but some of this is really good area. This is prime for growth. It has some tobacco, some horses, whales, pearls, but I don't know if we could defend both sides very easily. So maybe we will one day just conquer Poland. You know, it could be a thing. Radom popped up again, so now we're back down to 10 turns before we lose Trier. Luckily for us, we have 5 turns until the monument's finished. Why aren't we producing anything? It must be because we're in complete unrest. Yeah, city growth is at 0%, city yields are reduced 100%. Well, that's not gravy. In our capital, we actually have the opportunity. We don't need any more land military units, at least for the time being. I'm not too concerned about the ancient walls yet because we do have plenty of military to defend ourselves. Our campus is not going to be ready yet until we get this tile here. I think it's going to be the best campus. So we might as well create a couple of galleys to boost out shipbuilding. I have a builder heading up to this gypsum and this diamond, which should help make people happier, but we're going to have to see. So now I'm giving it a thing. I want to go builder first, and then we'll follow it up with a couple of galleys. That should be okay. Poland has gotten wise. They've now also put a city up here, so the influence is going to start spreading more towards the west. Poland is going to be an issue now because they're going to see this area is ripe for colonization. They just plopped on a much nicer spot than we did. We were shoehorned against a bunch of snow, this tiny little outcropping of land, no food. Look, I'm not complaining. I'm just saying we're doing what we're doing. Our archers coming up, getting ready to support this battle up here. And look at this. There is a crab up here, which will help a city. Happy to see it. Our spearmen got a nice promotion. We're going to go with thrust, bring the archer out. The archer's going to be able to start slinging right over towards his spearmen. And that should be the last of our barbarian issues for quite some time. Over in Berlin, we did just finish the monument. They are decent at production here with a 5.4. I think we're going to start churning out more builders. We do have this guy right here. It's about to improve some wonderful gypsum. That will help. And then we're going to grab this diamond. Not that this city is getting any yields at all, but it's still down to 33 turns before it rebels again. We have to get food going a little bit better. We have to increase the loyalty, get it out of unrest. See, it says other effects +2. What do you mean by other effects? Is that my trade route? Nope, we're just going with other effects. Here's the other governor title that we've unlocked. We could make this a lot better just by putting a governor sitting in that city, which is probably what we need to do. I would think Victor, because that city is sort of on the front of the lines, but I'm not 100% sure that pays dividends. Maybe a Reina, because we want to grab as many tiles as we can. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. Reina is going into Trier. So we finally have positive loyalty, full loyalty back again in 12 turns. The next turn, we should start seeing some growth coming from there. And hopefully they can gobble up as many of these tiles as they can. In fact, I know we're going for the iron down here, so let's buy it. And now hopefully they'll prioritize some other tiles up here. I love it when they do this. It makes it so much easier to just grab their encampment and then all of a sudden they don't have any place to spawn from. Which is great, except for the fact that there's swordsmen here. Swordsmen are not great, at least at our current tech level, but there's not much we're going to be able to do out of that. We did take down the barbarian encampment, but we might have to retreat across the river. I will move up a little bit with the warrior, try to defend it off, but this is a lot of meat and potatoes. That's +2 more era score too, by the way, for taking down that barbarian encampment. Swordsman took a big swipe at the archers, bringing them down a little bit, so we're going to back them up a little. Put the warriors there. Hopefully we'll still be able to get range here, even though I'm not 100% sure through the woods. I don't love this spot. We don't have any defensive terrain, so we're just going to continue to fortify, gaining the experience as the barbarians throw themselves into us. No big deal. Everything's fine. Everything's awesome. No range here, but if we move down here, we might be able to get a shot. No, it's probably only going to be these first ranks. But the swordsman's almost dead, thanks to their willingness just to keep bouncing into us. So I say we just finish it off like this, like that, and voila! Now we can get the settler going in. I'm thinking right here. It brings both of the crabs in range, both of the reefs, and this deer camp. Oh, well, that's never good. An unmet city-state has been defeated. Sorry, buddy. Our archer over here by Trier is getting some target practice, which is wonderful for us. A pair of quadriremes just help us get leveled up over and over again. This is wonderful. We do need to move our warriors back, though, because they're getting plunked. And our newest city is complete. Once again, we're going first into granary because there's not a lot of food around here. We have builders coming out across the empire. and that will definitely help. We have the granary being finished in 3 turns, which is really going to help Trier. That no longer runs the risk of flipping, thanks to the governor sitting in there. I wish I could get another city in here. There's so many good yields, especially on the coast. Oh my goodness. Even Maori is suffering from some loyalty issues. Does Poland have any sort of special abilities when it comes to loyalty? I don't see anything. Jadwiga is all about religion, and Poland itself really likes to work in the trade routes. Of course, they do have a population of 5 and whatever is up in here. We're trying to figure it out, but if this city itself has a population of 5 and it's their second city, I'm gathering that the city here is even bigger. Another era score because we finally entered the classical era ourselves, maybe a little bit behind the power curve. And with that completing, we are going to go into ironworking. It's 16 turns, but we have a builder coming out in 1 turn that's going to be able to boost it by improving this iron mine right here. We do have a builder right here, but I'd rather put down a farm, although we could chop it for 39 food. I think that's what we're going to do. It could definitely use the food boost. So now we have 16 turns to get some other food source there, but the 3rd population is going to be huge. In fact, we can go improve these horses. Yeah, we got plenty of time, especially considering the granary's coming. Now, we were sending the trade route over to Trier. This time we're going to send it to Magdeburg to build the roads there. Also, while still getting the domestic trade route bonus of 1 food and 1 production. First seafaring unit because of our galley, plus 2 more era score. I don't think we're close enough to get into Golden Age yet, but I'm not 100% sure what else is going on. But now we get to really explore. Maybe we can meet some other folks and see how we're truly doing. Because right now we're pretty comparable. Berlin now has 2 builders with 5 total uses. I'm thinking we go galley in Berlin, and that way it can head up this direction, be a little bit closer, a turn or 2, but it also free up our capital not to have to build a galley. And that'll be our 2nd galley for the boost that we were looking for earlier. The Temple of Artemis. Normally, it's kind of tough to build wonders in immortal and deity difficulties, but the temple's still sitting here, but that's plus 4 food and 3 housing. And it makes each camp, pasture, and plantation provide an amenity. Granted, it'll only be 1 in this case, but it's still better than nothing. 15 turns is not bad. We could even go chop this wood right here and get it out even sooner. Otherwise, we're contending with some garbage tundra tiles, so we're going to give it a go. And then I'm going to have Berlin's builder right here build a mine. It boosts apprenticeship, and then bring them back down here for the chop. I think we're going to go right into the monument here. We've been waiting to get the monument. It'll only help with some of the loyalty issues. Plus, it'll speed up the culture growth of these tiles. We're at 195, so I think it is worth it to grab these 2 tiles before they completely go away. In fact, I don't care necessarily about this one, because it's only 1 science and 1 culture. We're also back in the trade screen. We can sell a gypsum. I thought we already sold that. Looks like my quick deals don't care that this is my last one, so we're not going to be selling it. But I can sell some diplomatic favor. How much will you give me? Not a quaff. We'll wait until we have like 50 or 100 diplomatic favor. On the purchase front, Jadwiga is willing to sell some tobacco for 2 gold for 30 turns plus 10. I'll take that deal. It even gets one of our cities up to happy. More amenities equals better. I'm going to keep this scout here because I want to keep an eye on what's going on with this situation here, because this is not going to end well for one of them. While we're over talking to Coupe, we sent them some gifts because I think we may want to make them our buddy. They do have 5 total cities and a bunch of amenities. Not to mention their military strength is way higher than Poland. So whenever they choose to go to war, I think it's going to be lights out. And we want to get most of these spoils before they do. Despite my scouting, I still can't see the capital. It's so close. And I don't think standing here will allow me to see it either, but we'll check. We have finished political philosophy, which means we get to unlock a government. I'm always big on Classical Republic because the plus 15% great person points are huge. But in this case, it's also because all cities with a district receive plus 1 housing and plus 1 amenity, which is really going to help. So yeah, let's do it. I think we can take out the loyalty card. We don't necessarily need it. We could reduce unit maintenance. which would save us 4 gold. Not too bad. Yeah, let's try that. I think we're also going to improve production towards settlers. I'll show you why in a second. We're going to go charismatic leader so we can get extra envoys. And then for the wild card spot, let's add a little bit more gold to our trade route. And that should do it. But the reason why I'm going to start cranking out settlers is our galley has found some new land, and it doesn't look like anybody is up here yet. So this could be our path for expansion. We're making 32 gold per turn, so Jadwiga is offering us some tobacco. We're going to take that. And now we have 2 cities in the happy. And the reason why this is important is because when a city is happy, for instance, here in our capital, we're going to get plus 10% citizen growth and plus 10% to non-food yields, which is really, really big. On the civics tree, we don't have any boosts so far after political philosophy, so I'm thinking we're just going to get mysticism. It's only going to take 2 turns, but more importantly, it's going to give us an envoy. And I think we're going to take that envoy and just put 1 into Lahore here, because it will give us plus 1 production in the capital, and every city with a barracks and stable. We're probably not going to have too many barracks and stables, but the plus 1 production is not too shabby. We could also go to Samarkand and get plus 2 gold in the capital. We might do this instead, as a matter of fact. Poland wants some open borders from us, and they're willing to give us 1 gold and for 30 turns, and then 5 total gold. And it would be an equal exchange of open borders. I'm not sure if I want to be friends with them. Yeah, let's continue to make them mad, shall we? We're already trading with them for resources, so it's not too big of a deal. Oh, there's a Maori archer over here already, but no settler. Let's check the settler lens, and it does look like they do have some influence here, which means we need to get over here now. And I'm liking this tile right here. Actually, I'm liking this tile a little bit better because it puts this 1 land tile in range, both pearls and this crab. I can't build a settler in our capital because we're 11 turns away from the chop. Well, hold on 1 second. We're 11 turns away from the Temple of Artemis before this chop, 8 turns after. Suppose I could try chopping this as well. After this builder finishes the iron mine, which is taking several turns off of iron working, which is going to be able to get us up to swordsman. Not to mention the fact this is our first strategic resource. And Poland's doing Poland things, and they put down Warsaw, which made our scouts stuck. So I still can't see these 3 tiles quite yet until we get shipbuilding unlocked and be able to embark, which is what we're going to need to be able to do in order to get the settler up over here. And Mayor is mad at us because we pile filth on the land and dump it in the sea. You have no evidence of that, sir. Already finished mysticism. Nothing we're going to change on the policy front, so we're just going to open up the civics tree and start plunging towards something else. All 4 of these have some sort of benefit, whether it be governor titles or envoys. We do get the bonus defensive policy, but I don't love any of these defensive policies for what we need right now. Veterancy could be great for building encampments, harbors, and the buildings in the district. And also equestrian orders will give us bonus iron, plus the envoy, so I think we'll head towards military training. And already the AI is trying to get their grubby hands on our iron. I don't think so. We're getting plus 2 per turn from this site. Unfortunately, Warsaw is going to be able to get iron down, which I don't love, but nothing we could really do about it. Our envoy came in, not worried about Jerusalem, so let's go get the free gold here. What do they want? They want us to train a heavy chariot. We're not going to be doing that. That'll give us some more gold per turn. With the iron mine built, I'm going to try to get over here to complete the Temple of Artemis as soon as possible. Oh, look at this. Poland has decided to go to war with us. Oh, happy days. Remember that volcano I told you about? Well, it just erupted. Catastrophically so. We don't have anything there, but it did improve the yields around it, which is going to eventually help our capital. I hate to think of all the times we're going to have to repair that campus, but it really is the best location for a campus. We do have another envoy. We're going to send it into Lahore. I can't wait to read the comments and for them to tell me all the things I'm mispronouncing. We have 1 hairy chariot and 1 warrior coming at us so far. We actually have a higher military strength than them. We have several archers that we're going to be able to use. It does look like they do have some ancient walls here, but none here in Radom. So I think this is going to be the first victim. We are going to keep the warrior inside the woods for the bonus defense and start marching up the archers towards this line. Now, one of our scouts is behind enemy lines, which is not great. But we're going to be able to get some good scouting done, though. Also, now that we're at war, I can move all willy-nilly inside their territory. I'll finally be able to unlock some vision. Our galley has discovered some Maori territory way over here. Look at the distance between these cities. I don't think that was such a great idea by them, but they do start with the seafaring, so they can basically go wherever they want. But just because you can go wherever you want doesn't mean you should. We really want shipbuilding. It's going to take 21 turns for now, not only for the quadrime, but also to allow all of our land units to embark, which is going to be important because we desperately, desperately want our settler to be able to cross the sea. We're probably then going to back up and grab astrology just to the point of getting celestial navigation, because then we'll be able to build the harbors. And because we're a coastal empire, the harbors will really help. Yeah, we only have one turn until this galley is complete, so I'm not too worried about it. And there is their capital. It is a population 6, so their population has been doing very well. I can see why. But now we're going to leave our scout back here, and they don't even have walls on their capital right now. We should definitely make them pay for that. We have 10 iron right now. 10 more iron. I'll be able to upgrade this warrior into a swordsman, which would really start butchering things here. I am really not worried. We just took out their heavy chariot, which is the best of their military. Shipbuilding just got reduced down to 12 turns because we now own the 2 galleys. In Berlin, I'm tempted to start putting down some districts, maybe a campus. This location would be next to a reef. So yeah, it would get +2. We could also go government plaza and start getting bonus loyalty and more governor titles. But I'm wondering what the priority is right now. And in this case, I'm thinking battering ram, because if I can take what units we have, march through Radom, Warsaw, and their capital, we won't have to worry about Poland for the rest of the game, and we'll basically eat the rest of their empire just in loyalty. The disadvantage is it does take us a long time. It's taken 11 turns to get our spearmen from all the way down here to up through here. The battering ram will help, so will the swordsman, but time is going to be of the essence. So next episode, you're really going to get to see all the meat and potatoes of this war. We're pretty much going to make Poland beg, because they're already down to 150 military strength, and our production is starting to come online. In Berlin, we have a production of 9. In our capital, we have a production of 12. Even in Trier, we have a production of 8, which for this early in the game is really good. We're also just about ready to do this chop, and it's going to push out the Temple of Artemis probably next turn. In fact, let's do that turn really quick. I think it'd be a great thumbnail, huh? 43 production, and there we are. Gave us a great inspiration to drama and poetry. The better news is the boost that the Temple of Artemis is going to give us. So I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please continue to pepper the comments with what you would have done differently if you were piloting Germany here. I'd also like to hear what you think about this upcoming war, and where do you think we should stop? Should we go and take all of Poland, or should we leave just a couple of cities and not bite off too much more than we can chew? I'm excited for the next episode. I hope you are too. So until next time, much love, happy gaming, and I'll talk to you soon.